Hey everyone, I'm back again, and today I have an important message for you guys, which I'm very excited about sharing with you guys. And the reason is because this is where I've been doing a ton of my own personal growth. And right now in my life, I've been going through some different courses, really just so that I can hone in on, people who are doing extraordinary things in this world, all that knowledge, all that mastery, all that expertise that they've dedicated so much of their lives to. I've been diving into some of their courses and gleaning some of that wisdom. And so today, it was interesting because the next part of one of these courses that I'm going through really hit home with this question that I was asking myself when I woke up this morning. And this is going to be cool. So I just want to say a quick hi. I can see Thoraine's in the house. I love it. And Lucy and Ram. Good to see you guys. As always, I'd love for you guys to drop me some comments. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from and how you're resonating with today's topic. If you have any words of wisdom that you want to share, I want to hear it. So contribute to this conversation and let's make it a co-creation. Thorane, it is awesome to see you. We need to catch up. So let me dive into this one with you guys, because ultimately it's all about the fact that you cannot avoid your way to greatness. Now, that question I woke up with asking myself this morning was, really around what motivates me? Why is it that sometimes I can be just totally on fire with something and nothing's going to shake me from my path, right? And then other times I feel like I'm going and I'm progressing, and then all of a sudden I'm not really inspired, or I can't be bothered, or I do the very thing that takes me off the path that I've been on getting good results, right? And so I really had this question. I just kind of woke up with it, and it was like, what is that difference? What is that difference that it makes? And it was so interesting. Isn't it funny how the world works, right? Where ultimately we have these kind of questions in mind, and then the universe kind of delivers the answer to us. And it just so happened the part of this one particular course I'm doing right now, the guy really spoke into this kind of topic, right? And it was all about whether or not you are a creator or a reactor. All right. Now I want to talk to you guys about this because I know I've done a message and I've spoken into being a creator in your life a lot recently in my messages, but this is a slightly different angle that I want to take with you guys, and really powerful for all of you guys who struggle with yo-yoing in any of your results. The easiest example of this is obviously in our health and nutrition. That's why they call them yo-yo dieters, right? Because they stick to it and then they're off and then they're on again and then they're off and on. And you may have this experience. In fact, no doubt about it, if you're a human being, you've had some yo-yoing going on in at least one area of your life, right? And so basically, you're either operating as a reactor or you're operating as a creator. And I'm going to differentiate between the two in the hope that it gives you the value that it's given me. In just understanding, where we sit and why we do what we do and what patterns are at play that are costing us our results. Because we all know the path of being a yo-yoer in any area of our lives, where we're all in and then we're all out and then we don't feel in control and we're just sabotaging our results. It's incredibly frustrating and disappointing, right? It's not a great state to be in. And the typical example of this is, let's say you are someone who you look in the mirror one day and you go, you know what, you're not looking good, right? You're fat, you're unhealthy, you're unenergized, what's going on, right? And then you use that pain to go, you know what, I'm going to the gym. Right? And you get your gym membership and you're in the gym, right? And you're motivated by this pain, right? You just can't stand to be fat and unhealthy and feel sick anymore, that you're motivated to get yourself to the gym and push through the pain, and you hate being at the gym, but you just keep doing it because you just need a change, right? That's being very away from driven, right? You're trying to avoid that pain, right? And this is what happens, is because when we're motivated by pain, it'll get you moving, right? I'm telling you, I definitely do this in my life, is getting motivated by that pain element. It's not always the best sustainable direction to take though, because what happens to the person who is motivated by the pain and they don't feel good within themselves, so they push themselves to get to the gym and they force themselves to be there because they don't want to be that unhealthy person anymore, right? They're focused on all that pain of being the unhealthy person, so that gets them into gear. But what happens when they start generating some results in their lives? What happens a week in, a month in, where they're like, whoa, hang on a minute, like I'm looking pretty good. I'm feeling pretty fit, right? What happens at that point? The person who's motivated from the away from, what they're trying to avoid, motivates them. What happens is they kind of let themselves off the hook. They're like, you know what? I'm doing all right now. So I'm just going to go eat what I want tonight, or I'm going to not go to the gym today or this week. I'm feeling pretty good. And so this is enter the yo-yo phenomenon, right? Because they're like motivated by the pain, they get some results, and then they go back to how they were, right? And then again, they get to the thermostat level that goes, oh, that's too much pain. So they then again, I've got to go do that thing again. But the worst part about that also is the more that you yo-yo back and forth, the less trust you have within yourself, because you get to a point where you're like, what the hell is even the point? I get some results, but then it all goes back to normal or worse, right? And I'm using the example of health because it's just the simplest and easiest one, because you can see the actual concrete results that a person gets and what you feel, right? But it's not just about that. This is happening in every area of our lives if we are motivated with a reactor's mindset. Right? Reactors are trying to avoid pain and discomfort at all costs. I oftentimes ask people when they come in, want coaching with me, I ask them, what is it that you want? And the vast majority of people answer this way, and they don't even know it. They start listing off all the reasons, all the things that they don't want. I don't want a crappy relationship anymore. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to have this body anymore, whatever it is. I don't want to have this financial struggle anymore, right? And they don't even know it, but what they're really saying is, I'm motivated to find a way to avoid pain and discomfort in my life, right? And so they're only going to go as far as, kind of changing their results, changing their thermostat so that it's not like on high alert, that it's like, I need to change, this is too painful. And they start just getting a little bit of results, and then it's just going to boom, right? They're out like, oh, it's all right now. It's comfortable enough now, so I can just go back to the way things were until it gets painful enough. So instead, what we want to do is we want to realize where we're being the reactor in our lives. Where is it that we're hyper-focused on what we don't want, and we need pain to motivate us into any sort of action, but it all feels painful because we're pushing ourselves to do this thing because we want to avoid this painful thing, to the point where it becomes comfortable enough so that we then sabotage our results and revert back to the norm, right? We need to realize and recognize in which areas of our lives we're actually doing that. And then basically what we want to do is we want to shift gears. And the gear shift we want to take is to become the creator. Now, the creator, what are they inspired by? They're not looking at everything that they don't want in their lives. They're not looking at all the pain. What they're doing is they're actually looking at their vision for what they ultimately are so inspired by. And this is how they generate the massive success that they do in their lives as creators, is because they're not motivated by, avoiding that pain and discomfort. They're not even focusing on that. What they're focusing on is the inspiration that they have, what they're totally inspired to create in this life. And because of that, when they generate a result, right, they might have to push themselves to work toward this vision. And it also takes time and energy to create the vision with clarity. But when they start doing that, they start generating the results. And what that result is doing is leading them closer and closer to their idealized vision, right? What really inspires them authentically. And because they're moving closer and closer to that, they're also evolving as the person that they are, and that vision is expanding as they are. And so what happens is they start feeling what it is to feel that sense of reward for moving in the direction of something that ultimately inspires you from within. And what happens is, instead of having the yo-yo effect of the reactor's mindset and actions, they don't do the yo-yo phenomenon. What they do is they create a snowball of momentum, right? That snowball of those inspired results that's leading them closer and closer to their vision and expanding them as a human being. Now it's snowballing. Now they're building momentum. And you'd think that, oh, okay, this person's getting, the reactor would think this person's getting good results. They can just relax and slack off now and go hang out on the couch because they've done it. But in actual fact, the creator doesn't think like that. The creator is so inspired by the snowballing momentum of their inspired results that it pushes them even higher to create something even more and more grander with their life, right? So it's this entire different way of looking at life. And if you look at all of the most incredible, inspiring leaders in this world, the artists, the scientists, the inventors, everybody who's achieved greatness in this life, they're not reactors. They're absolute creators. All right. So my hope is that me sharing all of this with you guys inspires you as much as it inspires me, and also alerts you to, if there's areas in your life right now that you are not generating the kind of results that you'd want, ask yourself this: have you been being the reactor? Have you been just focused on what you don't want without clearly defining what it is that you do want, right? And I want to just make this kind of side note as well here, right? Because it's really important, if you've been operating in a reactor mindset and you receive a message like I'm delivering for you today, to not use the reactor mindset to change you into a creator, right? Because it doesn't work that way. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, don't let your realization of the pain of being a reactor and how that's working against you motivate you to go, I'm going to be a creator, right? That doesn't work like that. Now you're just using, what's been costing you to continuously cost you, but now you've got this kind of facade of thinking that you're going to be a creator by being motivated like a reactor. So instead, it's a whole shift in the way that you look at things. And basically what that means is, what you're going to focus on is not an avoidance of pain and discomfort of being a reactor. It's going to be on the positive vision that you have for shifting gears as into a creator. How is life in the long term going to be better for you on all levels? Because you've got a creator mindset, because you can tap into a vision that truly inspires you and grows and expands you. All right, think about that. Really sit with these questions that I'm asking you, because if you really future projected a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, if you made today the day that you made the fundamental choice in your life to start being a creator, then what would happen? How would your life look different? If you took this path and stayed a reactor in your life and, just kind of avoid pain and discomfort, kind of get some results, but then it gets comfortable enough for you to just slack off and just stay in a kind of mediocre existence where you're just kind of yo-yoing through life and never really getting anywhere inspiring and ending up in frustration and disappointment and regret. Or making today the day that you become the creator and you look at things with a positive light, not negating all the negatives, but focusing on what actually inspires you to move toward rather than away from, and the pain that you're trying to move away from. Because we get what we focus on. We all know that listening to these messages, right? And so basically this is what you want to do. Make today the day that you become the creator, and do it from a creator's mindset. Make that decision. Maybe it's your first ever decision that you've made from a creator mindset, because you see all the positives and the benefits of making that shift to focus on a clear vision in every area of your life that you wish to progress towards your highest potential in. and shift away from all that avoidance, because, you know, nothing great was ever accomplished in the pathway of avoidance. All right, you've got to have something that you're moving toward if you want to achieve greatness in your life. And I know as well as you do deep down that you ultimately have real potential that's unactualized that could lead you towards your most fulfilling existence. All right, so that's my rant for today. I hope it was of value to you guys. I'm always talking to myself. I'm kind of feeling like I give myself these pep talks, and my hope is that because it resonates so deeply with me, it's going to resonate with you because you're a fellow human being. All right. So I hope it has resonated with you guys, and I definitely want to check in with you, see who's been able to join me, and see if you've got any questions or comments or words of wisdom that you want to share and contribute to the conversation today. You're always so appreciated. I love getting to connect with you guys. So let me check in. Oh, and I should say, as always, if this message is of value, please share it for me. That's such a gift, just to expand into the minds and hearts of anybody that you feel could this sort of message could be of value to. So thank you again for doing that. And I'm so grateful to each and every one of you guys who've been doing that. Thank you so much. It really touches my heart. And yes, I've got Thoreen and Lucy and Ram and William. Good to see you. And Roxana's in the house. And Thoreen, yes, we got to do it. We've got to do it. I love having you here. I want to catch up with you. And Edgar, sending you love from Chihuahua, Mexico, as per usual. You're so appreciated, my friend. Much love coming right back to you. And Vanessa, yay, feeling a bit defeated today. I've had 8 clients cancelled due to lockdown. We're going through here, trying to stay positive. Vanessa, my heart is with you, beautiful soul. Yeah, you know, Vanessa and I, the 2 Vanessas, we're from Melbourne, Australia, and yes, we've gone into a further lockdown. We're not allowed to leave the house for 6 weeks, basically, unless we're getting essential items, right? So it's a crazy time. And yes, you know, I've had clients who've fallen off as well because of the lockdown. But you know what? I've also had other people sign up because of the lockdown. So you know, it's just, what are we going to focus on? And how can we utilize the current environment that's out of our control to our advantage? You know, I would say, Vanessa, that, you know, this is kind of going to be that inevitable thing that we have to see. My heart's totally with you. I know it can be really challenging, but believe and back yourself for better things moving forward. How can you better use the time right now that you would have been spending with clients worth your while in building that business, expanding your reach in some way? You know, if you can be doing something in those hours that you would have been spending with clients, that you can actually see will benefit your business and what you're inspired to do in this life, then you won't feel so bad about it. All right, because that's ultimately how I've looked at it at times. Because when you have coaching clients or you're dealing with people, you're trading your time, right? So that time is very valuable. So instead of us using that time, which we would have been spending with clients and helping them and doing what we love, instead of using that time to feel defeated and deflated and just like want to check out of life, right? And have that kind of reactor mindset, we want to step into the creator. This is an opportunity for you to get even clearer on your vision. Right? What are you most inspired to do? How are you most inspired to serve? You know, and oftentimes we lose those people who just, it might not be the right time. And in fact, a big thing for me is commitment, right? Like massive commitment. That is why my one-to-one coaching is pretty high in price. And the reason is because when I started to up my price in my one-on-one coaching, like everything else in the academy and the group coaching, it's incredibly cheap and just like a no-brainer. But my one-on-one coaching, I charge a high rate. And the reason is because when I started doing that, the quality of person that wanted my coaching drastically increased by way of their level of commitment to their own success. And that is so much more fulfilling, working with people who are totally committed no matter what. They'll find a way to do the work. Like that is amazing, right? And if people are dropping off out of fear with the lockdown. I don't know, their circumstances might be very well justified. And for others, it's just, their fear and their insecurity, and they're not finding the value in it enough. Like that could be very exhausting working with people like that. Like if they're not really that into it, or they're not really seeing the value, like raise your standard. Use this as a time to raise your standard for the quality of client that you want to work with. Someone who's committed no matter what, right? I've had clients sign up at my highest coaching level right now during the lockdown because they're so committed to their growth and their progression, and they see this as a time that they can really focus in on it, and they're not living in scarcity, they're living abundantly, and you get much better results with that type of person, and also it's much more fulfilling. So hope that little conversation helped, Vanessa, and I always appreciate you being here, and my heart is with you. If I can support you in any way, please do reach out. And I know you're a part of the Limitless Potential Academy, so why not come and join us for our live call, next Sunday, in a week's time. Come and join us in that community, come and have a chat with us on Zoom. So I can't wait to see you in there. And Tim's here as well, awesome, and Simon and Roxana. Hi V, when I am still up and you go live, I just know that universe is sending me a message. Being a new business owner, I'm going through a lot of yo-yo in my life right now. This message was perfect. Roxana, so good to see you, beautiful. I need to catch up with you too. I'm missing you, and I want to hear all about your new business venture. Super proud of you. You're amazing, and much love to you, and much positive energy coming your way while you go through the yo-yos. We're all going through the yo-yos, right? But what we want to do is go, how can I shift out of the yo-yo and focus on creating the snowball, right? That's going to build that momentum. And it's all to do with stop focusing on the things we can't control, right? Anything in our external world, and start focusing on what we absolutely can control within, and our inspired vision and our clarity, our direction and our commitment. All right. So hope that helps, and so love having you in the house today. And thanks for sharing your experience, beautiful Roxana. And AJ, thank you for your words, lovely. You are so welcome. Grateful that they can be of value to you. And Paul, thank you so much, Worth. So grateful to hear that, Paul. Thanks for showing up and letting me know. And Emil, yes, agree. Create the grandest vision. Believe in it more than anybody else. Absolutely, Emil. You are on the money. Nothing can make you a more unshakable human being than a connection and a clarity to something that truly, authentically inspires you, right? When you get to that point and you hone that creative vision, nothing can shift you from it. Doesn't matter what the judgments, opinions are in your external world, right? Like, you're an unshakable human being, and that's where I want each and every one of us to be, right? That's the place of power and greatness. So love that email. And Jose, hi Vanessa, thank you for sharing this message. You are so welcome, Jose. You're always appreciated. Thanks for showing up. And Wendy's back, yay. I will rewatch this to really get this message, awake myself to not be the reactor. Boom, I love it, Wendy. And remember, don't use a reactor mindset to shift into the creator. Don't punish yourself through pain to go, you know what, you've been doing the wrong thing. You have to be this creator. Instead, it's a whole shift in mindset. You're not looking at the pain and what you're trying to move away from. You're looking at the positive, what you're moving toward, what inspires you, how your life will be different in your future if you decide and just make that fundamental decision, right, to become the creator in your life. All the people that you aspire to be, get the kind of results of, or you admire or appreciate in this world, all the people who've made a difference to humanity, they're not reactors. They are all creators, and they don't live in a state of frustration and disappointment, which is the pathway of the reactor. They have fulfillment, and they're inspired. And there's a reason why we speak their names to this day, is because they inspire all of us, right? So that's the difference. Become the creator. Love that, Wendy. And Hannah May, good to see you. And Samuel's here, awesome. And Simon, life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating ourselves. Boom. What paintbrush and color do you want to select to paint your life story? Boom. I love that so much, Simon. I like a bit of, variety, maybe the whole palette, and maybe we can keep, wiping that slate clean at times. You're going to go on a journey that you create this chapter, but maybe you need a whole blank canvas for the next chapter, right? So we don't always have to be locked into this one way like a reactor. We can get to create and step up to that next chapter. And like Simon says here, take a new paintbrush, take a new color, and create what you're inspired by at that point. Because as a creator, you're constantly evolving and expanding, and so too will your vision. So I love that, Simon. You always bring such words of wisdom. So I love that. Thanks for showing up. And Philippe is here as well. So guys, that was my message for you. Remember, you cannot avoid your way to greatness. Don't be the reactor who yo-yos through life and is frustrated and disappointed all the time and self-sabotaging when they get some sort of result. Become the creator, right? Make the decision to be the creator in your life and don't turn back. Create a vision that you're inspired by. Hone that, get deeper and deeper in that. Get more and more inspired and create the snowball of your momentum towards your own unique greatness. That's my message for you guys today. I hope it served you. I hope it's empowered you. I so appreciate each and every one of you guys for showing up and spending your time here with me and co-creating this beautiful community with everybody here. You are so appreciated. And as always, I want to leave you with the powerful message to go out there and live authentically, love deeply, and contribute meaningfully. All right, that's what life is about. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to live into my potential and do what I love and love what I do. Every single time I get to connect with you, I'm super grateful. So much love to each and every one of you guys, and Alexan and anybody else just joining now. I hope you guys catch the recording, get a ton of value from today's message. I'm signing off. I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I will see you tomorrow. Much love.